The element that most viewers tend to gravitate towards when it comes to documentaries is the essence of real life, that one gleans from the assemblages of historical footage, photographs, talking heads, pre-recorded audio, and sequences of physical excursion or simple quotidian tasks.
That's everyone's nightmare. Either I'm a psychopath in sheep's clothing, or I am you.
In using snippets of the real world in a variety of forms, great documentaries use the images of universal, familiar existence to impart something tremendously personal, even intimate.
Who has seen an advertisement that has convinced you that your microphone is listening to your conversations?
And with the recent explosion of the docu-series format, we have the ability to go deeper into a story than ever before. Netflix has a collection of great documentaries that cover a diverse range of subjects, from true crime to sports to even filmmaking.
Citizen Kane, the greatest motion picture ever made.
Do you agree?
No, certainly not.
That's
My
interesting.
next one is, though.
Could you give us the title of that?
I haven't decided what it is yet.
Oh.
Welcome to Cinematic. Here we present to you the best documentaries on Netflix right now. Now before I start, I request you to like and share my video and subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified whenever a new amazing video comes up. So the first one, Cena.
I was treated like a criminal.
Best decision is my decision. I can't stand this.
Walking away from the dark forces.
You don't have to be a fan or even familiar with Formula One racing to appreciate the 2010 documentary Cena. Next, Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem and Madness.
Bitch! God damn you!
Here's all these people filming Joe being dragged around and nobody's going in there to rescue him.
The story of Joe Exotic is stranger than fiction, involving lies, guns, a bid for the US presidency and a murder for hire plot. This is a thing that must be seen to be believed. Now next, Crypt Camp.
The music and the people. I just feel like these people are crazy, you know, I mean, in a good way.
It's a fight that never should have had to be fought in the first place, and it's both inspiring and infuriating to see how tirelessly these individuals had to push and push and push to affect even the tiniest bit of change. Next, Miss Americana. The Taylor Swift Netflix documentary Miss Americana is far from your typical music doc.
I want to do this. I need to be on the right side of history.
It isn't even really all that focused on Swift's music so much as it is on Swift as a person. Next, American Factory.
I stand here today with a plant that's closing, but I'm extremely proud of the people that work in this plant here.
This documentary is the first title under the Higher Ground banner, a production company formed by President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama and distributed by Netflix. Next, The Great Hack. The 2019 Netflix documentary The Great Hack takes a deep dive into the Facebook Cambridge Analytica scandal and how, despite Facebook's denials, the social media giant used personal data harvested by its users. Next, Power of Grayskull, the definitive history of the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. In just about 95 minutes, this lengthy chat with creative behind-the-scenes of the brand, spanning from the early 80s to today, tells the untold tale of how one of the most iconic creations came to be. Now next, Knock Down the House.
We're doing something very controversial. People say, how dare you mount a challenge to someone who's so established?
If you're fed up with the business-as-usual politicians who have forgotten their constituents, Knock Down the House provides an inspiring rally cry. Next, 20 Feet from Stardom. The film is packed with fascinating behind-the-scenes stories from the making of iconic songs like Gimme Shelter, but it's Neville's focus on the human beings behind these voices that make it truly special. It's no surprise the film won the Best Documentary Feature Oscar in 2014. Next, Abducted in Plain Sight. The words bonkers, crazy, and wild might come to mind while watching the true crime documentary Abducted in Plain Sight, but they would all be negated by the disturbing story that unfolds in Sky Boijman's film. Next, 5 Came Back. It's a must-see for World War II buffs, and not only it is masterfully structured, but Netflix has also made available 13 of the documentaries discussed in the film to watch after it's over. Next, Beyond the Mat. Beyond the Mat sheds light on the darkest realities of the industry and is a must-watch not only for wrestling fans but for anyone looking for a truly gripping documentary. Now next, Ugly Delicious.
You should sit down and eat with us. People will find the things that are going to be delicious. Deliciousness as a whole is like a meme. It's going to find a way to survive.
Food is culture. That's kind of central premise of the Netflix documentary series Ugly Delicious, which is a part of food show, part travelogue, and a part documentary. Next, They'll Love Me When I'm Dead. When Netflix finally released the long-lost Orson Welles film The Other Side of the Wind in November 2018, they simultaneously dropped a documentary about the making of the notorious film. Next, Conversations with a Killer, the Ted Bundy tapes. Notorious serial killer Ted Bundy was unique in that he ultimately didn't confess to his crimes, which include the murder of at least 30 women, until the days before his execution. Next, The Unknown Known.
Want me to read this?
Yes, please.
All generalizations are false, including this one. There it is.
As far as political documentaries go, this is a must-watch. Next, 13th. It is a movie that will infuriate you, depress you, and hopefully spur you into action against a system that has done egregious harm to our fellow citizens. Next, De Parma. The reason we watched it in the first place and recommend you to is because it is an absolute must-watch for any and all cinephiles. Now next, Audrey and Daisy. It is a tough watch, but also a necessary one, especially in 2018. The documentary chronicles the stories of 2 high school students who were sexually assaulted. Next, Formula One, Drive to Survive.
These guys have an almost fighter pilot mentality, and that's what separates them from mere mortals.
If you have looked at Formula One and just see a bunch of cars going around a track countless times, Drive to Survive shows there's so much more happening under the hood. Next, the Vietnam War.
Unfortunately, we've never moved really far away from that, and we never recovered.
This is a must-watch for every American citizen, and while moments are indeed graphic and troubling, they are crucial to understanding the mistakes made in the past so that they are hopefully not repeated in the future. Next, Holy Hell. Holy Hell does a great job of exploring why people were so entranced by Michelle's teaching and how their own personal experiences in society made them more vulnerable and likely to stick around as things got weirder and weirder. Next, Jim and Andy, The Great Beyond.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Carrey, and how are you this evening? Alrighty then.
Finding out you have something special and it gets a reaction, that's how I got attention and love.
It's clear that the Man on the Moon experience had a profound effect on Carrey's life and forever changed how he saw things. For fans of Carrey's work, this bizarre piece of documentary filmmaking is a must-see. Next, Long Shot. The brilliant thing about Long Shot is that it never has to come right out and say it. The case speaks volumes on its own. Next, Icarus.
I was thinking that we'd start, I ask you questions, and you answer yes or no. Were you the mastermind that cheated the Olympics?
Yes.
Part dark comedy, part thriller, Icarus is an exciting, fascinating, and truly stranger than fiction watch. Now next, The Keepers. Abuse has permanent, devastating effects on the victim, and The Keepers bring this to light in a striking, upsetting, but necessary manner. And now, Amanda Knox. Whether you're already familiar with Amanda Knox's case or only have a vague recollection of the name, the Netflix original documentary Amanda Knox is a deeply fascinating watch. Next, Jiro dreams of sushi. It's a filling documentary even if it leaves you physically hungry for such delicious looking food. For the best recommendations, don't forget to hit on subscribe button and do press the bell icon to stay tuned. Don't forget to share this with your binge partner.